Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Anime and boy, do I have a show for you.
Hello everyone, namaste, welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you guys doing? What's up? What's new in your life? This is Amisha Singh Chauhan, and if you're new here and you're looking for something fun, dark and mysterious, then you're at the right place. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell icon so that every time I'm here with a new case to talk about, you'll get to know about it. So today we're going to talk about a murderer, not just any murderer. We're going to talk about a once sensational YouTuber, Trey Sesler. Does that name ring a bell? Probably not. But what about Mr. Anime? If you're someone who loves anime and who watches a lot of anime reviews on YouTube, then I'm sure that you might have probably heard this name one time at least. So before I start off with what happened and how this YouTuber murdered his entire family, let's talk about him for a second. His history and background and everything. Trey Sesler was born on 3rd of August 1989 in a small town in Houston, Texas, United States of America, Weller. He was the youngest in his family, and from a very young age, he had a thing for filmmaking. He knew that his passion, that his heart was in filmmaking. So in the early stages of when the YouTube started, he made his account, he made a channel named Lenscap Productions on 14th of September 2006, and that is the first day he uploaded his first video, The Renters. Now for over a year, he would make comic sketches, he would make skits and short films, and a lot of times these short films featured his brother Mark and also his mother Rhonda. Now over a year after, in 2007, 19 September, Trey uploaded a new video on his channel and the title was Mr. Anime Reviews to Come. This was the first time that he would be using the pseudonym of Mr. Anime on all social media platforms. Now from this day onwards, he was popularly known as Mr. Anime. In fact, he is said to be one of the founders, one of the pioneers, one of the kickstarters of anime reviewing community on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers these days who are very popular and quite successful in this genre, they themselves have said that Mr. Anime was one of their inspirations.
Actually, he was one of the people who inspired me to start doing anime reviews.
He had decent number of followers and more than 1 million views. Now the thing about Mr. Anime was the reason why people loved him, it was because he was brutally honest. He had a very straightforward personality. Now this is something that we all can relate to. A lot of YouTubers out there who react or who do reviews of products or animes or K-pop or movies or series, they sugarcoat stuffs. They are not honest with us. Maybe there could be a lot of reasons. Maybe they are sponsored or whatever the reason is. They fake, they fake their reactions, they fake their reviews. But Mr. Anime was not that type. He was very honest. And he used to rate all these animes. He was very honest with it. And a lot of time people would even say that he was quite aggressive with the reviews of animes he did not like much. Now the thing is that over a period of time, his content on anime reviews, and also he used to review video games. So all of these review content, it started decreasing. Like he was posting lesser and lesser videos on this subject. His horizon was shifting to something more violent, and that was firearms, guns, rifles, exactly that.
Oh, how you doing everyone? It's Mr. Anime. Or you can call me Trey. You can call me the guy that does the video game reviews, you can call me the guy that does all the gun stuff now.
He would make videos on how to use them. He would demonstrate the uses of these firearms. He would rate them. And I don't know much about weapons or anything, so I won't go in much detail about over here, but you can get the gist. All he was talking about was firearms. Now, across his YouTube journey, which was of 5 years, and he posted around 323 videos, one thing was very common. Even when he was doing anime or video game reviews and when he shifted towards firearms, the thing that was constant was that he was making short films, that he was making skits. And you can see the variations, you can see the changes happening in the skits as well. When he started focusing more on firearms, his skits also included a lot of violent action scenes, including guns and rifles, a lot of shootings happening here and there. So this was the transformation. These were the transition that was happening in his YouTube channel. Now, at the same time, there was this rumor going around in the YouTube community. Now, a lot of people believe that Mr. Anime was actually was targeting his own pets and stray animals. He would also go around in the midnight and he would shoot at random buildings and business stores and stuff like that. At the time, it was just a rumor. There were no evidences. But much later, now that we know what happened, we know that these were the red flags. Now, the thing is that it would be unfair if I don't mention this part. While he was talking about firearms and he was demonstrating how to use them and he was including them in his short films, at the very same time, he would also rant about a lot of mass murders that were happening at the time in the United States of America. He made a video how it scared him, how it was fearful for him to imagine that there were people outside who could harm others this way.
Hey everybody, Season 2 here, and today I'm ranting on something a little bit, right? Yes, I'm ranting on something a little bit anime unrelated. I'm ranting on all the shootings that have been happening. Pittsburgh, New York, Alabama, California. It's like every day I get online and click open Yahoo or whatever I open and let the publicity fill my mind with bad thoughts about the place I live. So I don't know what's going on. You know, they had an article that were like, well, the economy's gone bad. Everyone's losing their job and getting mad and shooting everybody. Yeah, I guess that makes sense since a lot of the shooters lately have recently lost their job. But I'm a firearms owner myself, but it is a little bit disturbing to know that you could be a victim in something like this at these times.
And he mentioned that most of the times these mass murderers were triggered because of unemployment. Now, while we are talking about unemployment, Trey Sesler / Mr. Anime was actually unemployed. He did not have any full-time job. He had previously done little odd jobs here and there, but nothing too serious. And this thing really bothered his father, Lawton Ray Sesler Jr., who was 58 years old at the time, and quite a well-respected man, quite a well-respected teacher in the town, in the community. So it really bothered him that his little boy did not have a proper college degree, or that he was not working towards a full-time job. Now, because of this, they had a very rocky relationship, and it is said that a lot of times Mr. Anime would spend nights at his grandmother's house. Now, anyways, in 2011, he announced that he was diagnosed with a form of pneumothorax. Now, subsequently in 2012, he announced again that he was fine and he was out of hospital and he was doing well. Now, somewhere between 2011 and 2012, a lot of people also noticed that Mr. Anime looked quite drunk, like his body language, the way he was talking. He was shooting videos while he was drunk, though nobody expected or anticipated the extent of him being high or drunk. He was taking antidepressants for quite a long time, and we all know drugs and booze, when they mix together, it's not a good combination. So anyways, in February of 2012, Mr. Anime uploaded another video. Now this time, the title of the video was Mr. Anime is planning something. Now in this video, he tells his audience, his fans, his subscribers, that he is actually going to take 2 to 3 weeks off. He's going to take this break to reward himself, to take care of himself. At the same time, he was showing his gratitude. He was appreciating all the support from his audiences. Now, what happens is that 2-3 weeks later, when he comes back from his small vacation, on 13th of March 2012, he uploads another video. Now this time the title of the video was Mr. Anime's New Job. Over here you can see that he's very happy and he's very joyous. He tells everyone that he's got a new job, a full-time job in the film industry with the help of his work that he was doing on YouTube. At the same time, he also mentioned that even though he'd got a full-time job, he won't be leaving YouTube. He'll be still uploading videos.
Well, hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. Anime here. And well, I have some pretty good news. I have some kind of bad news, but it is good news. The good news is that I now found a full-time job in a department that I'm interested in, which is film. I'm still going to be doing the Google thing though,
and I'm still going to be doing videos.
Now, 7 days later, on March 20th, 2012, he goes on murdering his entire family. Let's talk about that day. So, in the early mornings of March 20th, 2012, he lures his mom inside the garage of his parents' house. Now, his mom might have thought that he's calling for because he needs some help with his videos, his kids, or maybe something to do with his car. But as soon as his mother enters the garage, he shoots her point blank on her chest. She dies on the spot. After which, the brother, Mark, who was 26 years old then, when he hears the gunshots, he definitely gets very curious and he walks towards the garage to see where the noise was coming from. And Mr. Anime, Trey, he walks by his brother very naturally and he enters his room. He takes out another gun, another firearm, and he walks back to his brother and shoots him right there. Now, his brother does not die at the moment. He crawls himself, he drags himself to a bathroom and then he locks himself inside. Meanwhile, Mr. Anime, he walks towards his parents' bedroom. His father was in his bedroom on his bed sleeping. But when he heard all the noises, all the gunshots, he was kind of waking up from his sleep, and that is the exact moment when Mr. Anime enters the bedroom and shoots his father. Now, after this, Mr. Anime retraces his steps back and he shoots all of his family members again. In fact, he even broke down the door, the bathroom door inside which his brother was, and when he entered, he found his brother in a fetal position. Now, this was not enough. He ransacked the entire place down. He literally broke down everything. Now, according to the Waller Chief Police, he described the entire place as a scene out of war zone. Now, the police got a phone call from a concerning relative, and when they arrived at the Sesler's residence, they've discovered the bodies. Along with, they discovered the notes that were written on the walls and the doors of the house. So they found the bodies, they found the entire place was just broken down and there were notes. Now, these notes were written by Mr. Anime himself. These notes talked about things like how much he loved his mother, his father, his brother, and he has no idea why he did this. Then there was this note about forgiveness. He said that he can never forgive himself, but he expects or he's praying that the God forgives him. Now, after this, the police were sure that the person behind all of these murders were none other than the young brother, the youngest son, Trey Eric Sesler, commonly known as Mr. Anime. So there was this manhunt that went out and people started looking for Mr. Anime. Meanwhile, Mr. Anime found himself in the parking lot of his high school, which he just graduated a few years ago, which was Weller High School. Now, the thing is that his goal was not to just murder his family. His goal was to do something big. So along with over 100 rounds of ammunition and a High-Point Model 995, a Columbine rifle, one of the guns that were used by Columbine shooters, he was planning to shoot at least 70 students in the pep rally of the high school so as to become the biggest mass murderer. He was planning a Columbine style attack. Now, a side note over here is that while he was making videos on guns and demonstrating how to use them and blah blah blah, at the very same time he was also researching on serial killers and mass murderers. Now, the thing is that he was just not researching on these serial killers and mass murderers, he was also rating them. He would rate these serial killers based on what were the techniques they were using to murder people, what was the weapon, then he would rate these weapons, and after that he would also go on rating the victims, as in the number of victims and blah blah blah. Now, we do that too as well, okay? We do. I mean, if you're here on this channel, then you definitely like to study about serial killers and true crime and murders, yada yada yada. Definitely there's nothing wrong, okay? But then there is limit to everything. Now, even then, while he was researching all of this, it wouldn't have been weird, you know? Obviously, for us, we can understand this. But now that we look at all of these information, we definitely see red flags. So he was inspired by the shooters of the Columbine attack, and from all of this inspiration, he wanted to become the biggest mass murderer. Now, the thing is that he never did it. When he was sitting in the parking lot, he just could not go ahead and shoot 70 people. There was his opportunity. He did not take it. Instead, he drove his car to his friend's house in Magnolia, later from where he was arrested. Now, knowing all of these events and the facts that took place, the question that not only we have, but also the investigators had was why? Why did he do this? Why did he even murder his entire family? And what was he doing with all of these ammunitions and guns? So when he was arrested, he was taken into questioning. Now, the way he answered was very different. Like sometimes he would cry and he would show remorse and show how much sad he was. And he would go on saying that the reason why he decided to murder his parents was because he wanted to save them from all the consequences of his actions, the actions being the mass shootings. So he did not wanted his parents to face all of this. So this was one of his answers. He would keep on changing his statements. In fact, I would like to mention something over here is that you can hear in one of the clips that he is saying after murdering the family.
Right after I had killed the family.
So yeah, he was talking of another person's case, like another person murdered the family, not his family. You're trying to get over here. The sheriff also agreed that his answer on his parents kept on changing. So till date, we don't know what happened. We don't know what was going inside his mind. So we don't know if there was an argument in the early hours of March 20th, 2012. He also said during the interrogation, the thing about my family is I would protect them with my livelihood. But at the same time, if anyone was going to hurt them, it was going to be me. End quote. That's there right in front of you. But anyways, it is said that he did it to save them from all the consequences of his mass murders. Now the second question is that why did he not do this mass murder? The very same mass murder for which he killed his entire family. No, actually not just killed, he massacred his entire family. Well, according to Trey Eric Sesler, Mr. Anime, this is one of the places where he was very constant and he gave a very strong, adamant answer. According to him, as soon as he reached the school, he realized all the events and it felt too real for him. Him murdering his mother, his father, his brother and going to murder 70 people and more than that, it felt too real for him. So he just could not do it and he left the scene. He also said that as soon as he shot his mother, he did not want to go ahead with his plans. He knew that he couldn't do it and he loved his mother so much that it hurted him to see his mom lying cold on the floor. But he felt like he cannot just go ahead and tell his father and brother that he killed their mom. So he had to go with his plan. He had to stick with his plan. So he went ahead and murdered his entire family. Now after this, during the police investigation, a lot of things came up. He was hiding a lot of weapons that he owned in his dorm room, in his room, and in fact even in one of the houses that the mother inherited from her father in Hampstead, where half a dozen of weapons and ammunitions were found by the police. The police also stated that they had evidence that Mr. Anime would go on not only shooting his own pets, but he would also shoot and target stray animals and shoot at random buildings in the middle of night. So all of those rumors were definitely true. Now, on 2nd of August 2012, Mr. Anime, Trey Eric Sesler, he pled guilty to all of the charges for which he was sentenced to life imprisonment. He requested the court for his right to parole to be taken away from him because he was afraid, he was worried that in future he might either harm himself or someone else. In a lot of interviews, you can hear him saying that he's happy that he's behind the bars because he believes that he deserves that. Recently, there was this rumor that Mr. Anime died in the prison, but it has been busted and he is currently an active inmate. Now here we come to the end of this video. This is all what happened. Now before I end this video, I have something to talk about. You know, we over here, especially me, I have made this channel where I talk about a lot of things, okay? I talk about serial killers, I talk about true crime cases, I talk about paranormal and occult stuff, conspiracy theories, a lot of dark things, you know. But the thing is that we are doing in a very healthy manner. There is an extent, there is a limit to everything. We have different reasons why we talk about serial killers or mass murderers or, you know, criminals. For me, it is all psychological. I want to know about their psychology. I want to know why did they do this, what triggered them. These are the questions that go around in my head. For you, it might be some other reason. But in the end of the day, all of this I feel is accepted and is fine as long as it's in its limit. Once you cross the limits, things will go out of hand, which I think that happened in Mr. Anime's case. I feel like from a very young age, he was into violent stuffs, he was into the dark stuffs, but he just crossed the limits and something triggered him. I don't know his case history, so I can't really say what exactly triggered him. It is one of the questions that really a lot of people have regarding Mr. Anime. I would love to know your opinions on it. What do you think happened with Mr. Anime? What do you think that ticked him off to do what he did? That's all for the day. Also, with your opinions and your views of this case, I would love if you could suggest me a case that you want me to cover in my next video. Drop these suggestions in the comment section, or you could just DM me on my Instagram. Also, if you found this video informative and if you want me to keep on making such videos, then do hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Take care of yourself, guys. Be happy, spread positivity. Bye bye.